Hi everyone, I'm Deanne Barong, and I'm a licensed professional counselor at Living Hope Eating Disorder Treatment Center. With increasing concern about the coronavirus, we have seen and will continue to see a variety of responses. While everyone experiences anxiety a little differently, the common thread is the feeling of threat to ourselves and/or the ones we love, coupled with a general feeling of uncertainty about what is to come. I'm going to talk to you about signs and symptoms of anxiety and coping strategies that you can try during this time of social distancing. Anxiety is your body's natural response to stress. It's an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. Life events, changes in our daily routines, and fear of being infected with a virus are all triggering factors that lead to anxiety. Although no one knows exactly what the next weeks or months will hold, many strategies can successfully address the anxieties that emerge during this time. The first one, number one, is stay close to your normal routine. Maintaining a structure to your day and some resemblance of normalcy will help reduce anxiety. This involves getting up and getting dressed every morning, as if you're going into the office, going to school, or just starting your day in general. Number two, stay connected to your support system, whether it's family, friends, teachers, or your mental health providers. It's easy to feel like you're completely isolated and stuck during this time. Make it a priority to stay in touch with friends and family. If you tend to withdraw when depressed or anxious, think about scheduling regular phone, chat, or Skype dates to counteract that tendency. Face-to-face contact is like a vitamin for your mental health, reducing your risk of depression and helping ease stress and anxiety. Number three, trying a new hobby. It's times like these that people find themselves not knowing what to do or getting bored doing the usual. Find something new that you can try alone, like drawing, coloring, painting, watching a new series on TV, and journaling. Or something that you can try with a family, such as playing games, getting outside, painting, watching a movie, or cooking meals together. Number four, get outside. Getting some sun and fresh air does the body and soul wonders. Being outside can be calming and can help us reset and take on the rest of the day. Number five, practice mindfulness. Take time to focus on the present, being intentional and thoughtful about where you are and how you're feeling. Try to center your thoughts and be in the moment. Listening to a guided meditation on YouTube, going outside and using the five senses to describe what you see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. Describing an object, focusing on every detail. Deep breathing exercises. Listening to music and coloring are just a few mindful activities that you can try to reduce anxiety. Number six, challenge irrational negative thoughts. It's easy to let negative thoughts and feelings creep in during the COVID-19 pandemic. Chronic stress is often the result of negative thought patterns. Challenging negative thoughts can allow you to change them by learning how to examine the validity of the negative thoughts and learn how to interpret situations using a different perspective. Number seven, stay informed, but don't obsessively check the news. It's vital to stay informed, especially about what's happening in your community, so that you can follow the advised safety precautions to slow the spread of the coronavirus. But if you start to feel overwhelmed and anxiety is becoming an ongoing issue, consider limiting your media consumption to a specific time frame and time of day. Number eight, limit social media exposure. Posts on social media can fuel our anxiety and cause panic. There are many positives to staying connected with others, but if you feel social media is triggering anxious thoughts, try limiting your time on it or just take a break from social media during this pandemic. Number nine, focus on the things that you have control over. When you feel yourself getting caught up in fear of what might happen, try to shift your focus to things that you can control. So, for example, you can't control the severity of the coronavirus outbreak in your city or town, but you can take steps to reduce your own personal risk. In uncertain times, we can find ourselves on edge, tense, and nervous about the future. However, we all have internal and social resources to get through this challenging time. You are far more resilient than you give yourself credit for. Even with social distancing, we can feel the support from one another. I hope this video on reducing anxiety during COVID-19 has been helpful. I thank you all for your time. From my house to yours, stay well, everyone.
One way of adjusting our mindset is to change it from I'm stuck at home to I can focus on my home and myself. Routine is very important, so try to stay as close to a normal routine, trying to maintain some form of structure from your pre-quarantine days. If that's not possible, create a new routine. Ignore social media memes and posts about new diet trends. Diet culture makes us feel as though we are not good enough. Social media can be very difficult to avoid, so here are some things that can help. Delete unhelpful accounts. Mute accounts of friends and family that are upsetting you, but you don't want to delete them. And follow accounts that bring encouragement and joy.
Hey everyone, my name is Abby and I'm a therapist at Living Hope, and I want to talk to you today about some ways that you can take care of yourself during this really unique situation that we are all in. Self-care is so common, we hear it all the time. Usually it's in the form of treating yourself to a spa day or a shopping spree. And those things can be a part of self-care, but really self-care is the little things that we do every day that help us feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically. That means that there are a million different ways that we can practice self-care. So today I want to talk about just a couple that may be more useful during this situation that we're in. The first way that you can practice self-care is by maintaining a routine. Even though we're not able to get up and go to work or school or appointments the way that we typically do, we can still set alarms, get up and do our normal routine like brushing our teeth, taking a shower, changing clothes. When we do this, it can help us feel more energy, it can help us feel like our day has more meaning, and it can just help us feel better overall throughout the day. The second thing is to take care of your physical body. And we do this by eating, staying hydrated, and taking medication. When our routine gets thrown off, it makes these three things a little more challenging. So a way to help keep yourself on track and help you remember is by setting timers for whenever you would normally do those things. You can also ask a loved one or a support person to help remind you and help keep you on track so that you stay accountable and don't lose track of the day and forget meals or forget your medication. The third thing that you can do to practice self-care is to limit your media exposure. You could spend all day reading the news, but usually that just makes us feel more anxious, more overwhelmed, more worried, and it's really not helpful. So by limiting your media exposure to 10 or 15 minutes a day, you're just getting the information that you need and not getting stuck in that cycle of reading the headlines over and over. If you've tried to limit your exposure to just 10 or 15 minutes a day and that still seems like it's too much, you could ask a loved one that you trust or a support person that you trust to keep you updated on anything that you need to know. That's absolutely important for you to know. And otherwise, you don't look at the news and you don't get updates. Only from your support person that can tell you if there's something you absolutely have to know. The next thing is to stay connected with our loved ones. Even though we're practicing social distancing and we're not able to see everyone we want to in person, we can still stay connected thanks to technology through text, calls, FaceTimes. There's a million different apps out there. Even though we're practicing social distancing, we don't have to be isolated. We don't have to be lonely. We just have to kind of adapt and connect with people in different ways. The next thing that you can do to help take care of yourself right now is to get outside. We're not going and doing like we usually are, so Take the opportunity when the weather is nice to go outside, feel the sunshine, stand in your yard or stand on your balcony and just get a change of scenery other than being just inside of your house. That can be really daunting, so go outside when you get the chance. The next thing, and probably one of my favorite, is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness comes in a lot of different forms, but really what it boils down to is being very present in the current moment. And a simple way that we practice mindfulness is by using grounding through our 5 senses. So what you do is you get seated inside or outside, and you start by taking deep breaths in and out, and you just focus on your breath for a few minutes. And then you start with your senses, and you start by noticing 5 things that you can see around you. If you're inside, it may be a TV or a lamp. If you're outside, it may be a tree or a mailbox. 5 things that you can see. Then you go to 4 things that you can feel. Maybe it's what you're sitting on. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe it's a blanket. 4 things that you feel. Next is 3 things that you can hear. A dog barking, the air conditioner turning on, somebody driving by. 3 things that you hear. Next is 2 things that you can smell. Maybe it's your favorite candle. Maybe it's fresh cut grass outside. 2 things that you smell. And then 1 thing that you can taste. Maybe it's a drink that you just had. Maybe it's your toothpaste from when you brushed your teeth this morning. Just 1 thing that you taste. And so when we take a moment to focus on our breathing and then notice all the things through our senses, what happens is we limit other distractions because our mind is really focused on just these few things. That can help us feel less anxious. It can help us regulate our breath and just overall kind of help us feel calmer. So that's a way that you can practice self-care, is by doing a little meditation through grounding. And the final thing, and probably the most important, is that you be kind to yourself and you give yourself some grace. This is a very challenging time and we're having to adapt in a lot of ways. And there was no way to prepare or plan for any of this. So if things aren't going as well as you would hope, or you feel like you're not doing enough, just give yourself some grace and remind yourself that you're doing the best that you can. If you're struggling, reach out to your loved ones, reach out for help, try to practice some self-care every day. And if you are already practicing self-care, I would love to hear what you're doing to practice self-care. You can drop it in the comments and maybe we can all share some new and fun ideas.